I'm Harlan Charles. I'm Corvette Product Manager. This is Tracy Clark, Accessories Manager for Corvette, among other cars. And we also have, as our special guest, Wendy Clark.
Wendy Clark?
Wendy Miller. Later your sister.
Yeah,
Wendy Miller, who is our sales forecaster for Corvette, and also among some other cars too, but mostly Corvette is the one that she loves the most, obviously. So she's here too. But Tracy and I are going to entertain you for a little bit, so we're going to start with accessories.
Thanks, Harlan. I gave you a bit of insight as to why genuine accessories are the best thing for your car if you want to personalize your car. So as it says up on the screen here, and as it said in the video, with the genuine accessories are just designed, engineered, and tested at the same time as the testing and everything is done for your car. They're designed to integrate with the car and work flawlessly. And just in case they don't, we offer the full vehicle warranty on the accessories, so you can personalize your car with confidence using the accessories. I'm sure you've all got some accessories on your vehicles. Let me give you a little bit of a summary as to what we have. So we have a range of spoilers and ground effects in body color and in carbon fiber. We have a range of interior accessories, including different coloured armrests with the different logos, Stingray Z06, and sill plates. Don't forget that little personalised badge as well, that's the popular one. We have protection items as well. The rear bumper protector protects the rear from belt buckles, and the cargo mats, of course, with a few different logos on them. The vehicle covers, we've got a range of vehicle covers, and my personal favourite is the yellow one you see there. I have fun playing with that at shows, and people definitely like it. We've sold quite a few of those. So anybody here have that one? There you go. Had somebody here yesterday who had it as well. Quite a range of wheels and centre caps, so it gives you mix match the centre caps with the wheels, so it gives you lots of ways to really make the vehicle yours. The vehicle you see out here does have our centre caps and accessory Jake centre caps and wheels with the machine rim. For Grand Sport, we brought out a full range of accessories as well. So from decals, underhood stuff, interior stuff, exterior stuff, all branded with Grand Sport. So you can really make sure you've got that Grand Sport branding on the car if that's what you like. We have a Grand Sport cover as well. That's the one pictured up the top here. It'll make you. It's rendered to look like the Grand Sport that's parked outside, so it makes the car look pretty even in winter time. You can still look at the pretty cover. We have performance accessories as well for those that like performance, want to enhance the performance, want to get a little bit more out of their vehicle, maybe put it on the track. And then for the other vehicles in your garage, because not everybody drives their Corvette all year round, we have a full range of accessories for your Silverados, your Cadillacs, your Buicks, whatever GM vehicle you drive. And again, they all have the full vehicle warranty, fully integrated with the vehicle. We have a range of online resources which I can provide information if anybody's interested after. One of the newer things we have is that you can now buy accessories online. So you can be sitting at home on your couch, you can order whatever accessories you like for the vehicle. They can be shipped directly to your home or to your dealer, whichever you prefer. You can arrange the dealer to install if that's what you'd like to do. Some more online more online resources. And then if you want to keep yourself up to date with what we're doing with accessories and performance parts, go out to Facebook or Instagram and like the page, and our updates will appear in your feed and you'll always be in the know. So I'll take questions at the end, but right now I'll hand over to Harlan. Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy. All right, so of course we know why we're all here. We won last year, actually 2 back-to-back drivers, team, manufacturers champions, and we're here again, starting another fresh new year, hoping to do it for a 3rd time. But you know, the nice thing about this class of racing that we do, the GT Le Mans class, is we race on the track against a lot of the same cars, sports cars, that we race with on the showroom for people to buy. So we're also a winner on the showroom. As you can see, Corvette has over 40% of what we call the luxury sports car segment in sales. Although the segment is a little bit down this year, Corvette is still clearly the winner in both the track now and the showroom. So a couple other awards. Corvette is the most loved car in America for 2017. I don't think that's a big surprise to anybody. I'm surprised to even have an award like this. It should be obvious, but we did win that. I'm happy to be proud of that. And then also another great one is Car and Driver does their 10 best cars, and once again, the Corvette is in the 10 best, and actually Camaro is too. So both the Chevrolet's highest performance cars are in there, which is great company. So what's new for 2019? Like, didn't 2018 just start like a few weeks ago? Why are we on 2019? Well, a couple things. First of all, with the new ZR1, which we're going to talk about, we wanted to have all the cars to be the same model year, and we didn't want to just start one for a few months and switch over. So we switched over a little bit early this year, till 2019. So the Stingray, the Grand Sport, and Z06 will start production right at the end of the month, and then the ZR1 follows closely behind in March. And not a lot of changes on the carryover, the Stingray, Grand Sport, and Z06, but one of the key things that we're doing, we're bringing back the customer build, engine build for Z06 and ZR1. And then a small thing, but kind of a big thing for some people, is the new factory fill 0W40 Mobil 1 oil, which is great. It's a great oil because you can use it both on the street and on the track, so you don't have to do the oil swap for track usage like we've had to. You can continue to do that, or if you have a 2014 or newer Corvette, you can switch over to the new oil also. So I think that's a great job by Mobil 1 developing this for us. So let's see what happened in LA just last December.
Tonight we celebrate 65 years of incredible performance. Nothing makes a heartbeat faster than a Corvette. Since the first generation launched in 1953, Corvette has symbolized sports car excellence. It's time for the return of another legendary Corvette name. This is the fastest and most powerful Corvette ever created. Introducing the 2019 Corvette ZR1. 6.2-liter supercharged V8 produces an SAE certified 755 horsepower and 715 foot-pounds of torque. The ZR1 will hit a top speed of 212 miles per hour. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the fastest, most powerful Corvette convertible ever, the 2019 Corvette ZR1 convertible. ZR1 convertible is truly a no-compromise supercar. So these two amazing Corvette ZR1s epitomize a strong alliance between design and engineering. Our team's effort has created the finest Corvettes in our history.
And what this car represents is a real collaborative effort, a combination of what we learned from racing. This is a very serious machine in terms of what it's capable of doing, but also it's a wonderful piece of dynamic art.
So I've seen the evolution of the 5th generation, 6th generation, 7th generation, and now the highlight of the 7th generation, the ZR1. So we're really, really happy and really, really proud we're able to do one and do one that will justice to the ZR1 name.
So like Ted said, justice to the ZR1 name, let's take a look at the history of the ZR1. Actually, one that, the first car that had a ZR1 option package was the 1970. It was actually a special heavy-duty track package for the Corvettes with the LT1 engine. And not available with air conditioning, power windows, power steering, or radio, so it's pretty hardcore. And it cost $1,010.50 back then, which was a lot of money. And I kind of like this, you know, we always take things for the past. I actually think I'm going to add 50 cents to every option price, and that's how I'm going to fund my retirement going forward. But maybe not. Okay, so the one that, of course, everybody remembers, really what made the Corvette able to take on the best supercars in the world was the 1990 ZR1. At its time, you know, the 375 horsepower when the Corvettes were running 250 horsepower at that time was quite an upgrade. Car cost $58,995 then, which was again not inexpensive, but again could take on much more expensive cars as well. And then the most recent one before this was the 2009 ZR1. This is the first time we did supercharging in the Corvette, 638 horsepower. It's also the first Corvette that broke the $100,000 barrier. And then it also had a lot of new technologies that we've seen in spread out in the 7th generation Corvettes. And this was the first car to have it. Things like carbon ceramic brakes, the carbon fiber roof panel, carbon fiber ground effects, and the 19-inch front, 20-inch rear wheels. Also, a signature feature of this car was the clear cover on the window, clear window on the hood, so that you can see the supercharger through the hood. But now it gets us to the newest ZR1, the 2019. So let's talk about this. Well, first of all, we've already been on a couple of magazine covers. Car and Driver did their 750th issue. They did a special issue for number 750, and they thought, what would be cooler than to have a car with over 750 horsepower on the cover? And then also on the Motor Trend cover as well. And let's talk a little bit about the powertrain and the chassis on the ZR1. Of course, we brought back the LT5 code for the engine. It has a larger supercharger than the Z06 LT4, 755 horsepower, 715 pound-feet of torque. It's available with both the 7-speed manual and for the first time with the ZR1, an 8-speed paddle shift automatic. And we have two basic chassis packages. The standard package uses the, I guess all the ZR1s, let me say first of all, comes with the ceramic brakes, magnetic ride control as well. But the standard one has what we call the lower wing package and the PSS tires, and then the ZTK performance option is the one with the high wing that you've seen a lot of, and the cup tires for the ultimate track performance. So let's talk a little bit more about the engine, the LT5. Again, it starts with the LT4 basic engine block and architecture, but it is an all-new supercharger, new throttle body. It has a new, we call dual fuel injection system, so it's both direct injection and port fuel injection. You've got to get the maximum fuel for maximum performance, obviously. And let's take a look. This is showing the comparison size of the supercharger. So if you look at this from left to right, we start with the LS9, which was the 2009 to 13 ZR1. Then there's the LT4, which is the lower profile on the Z06. And then this new one, the LT5 for the ZR1, is actually 73 millimeters taller. So one of the issues is with that taller supercharger, how do we maintain the sight lines in the Corvette and the hood line so that you can see out and see the road? So one of the key features is this carbon fiber engine cover assembly, which mates to what we call a carbon halo hood. So the hood actually has a hole through it that the engine cover sneaks through. So that way we can keep the hood line as low as possible because the engine cover is flush with the top of the hood. And it also makes it an interesting view out the windshield when you can see that. So this is, we call these horsepower and torque curves, if you're not familiar with those, but basically this is showing the standard Corvette Stingray and Grand Sport LT1, you know, with 460 horsepower, great engine. But then you can see here the difference when you upgrade to the Z06 with 650 horsepower, and then again to the ZR1 with the 755 horsepower and the torque. One of the things we did too for fun is we put on the original LT5 that had the 375. So think about it, in this time frame, we doubled the horsepower from the original LT5, which was at that time king of the hill. Now we've made a car from the factory that's double that. So times have been good for power and performance. So while you're saying you got all that power, how are we going to cool that? You know, with keep that cool and make it you know, good for the track. So we've actually added these outboard coolers, actually 4 new heat exchangers. So it gives a total of 13 total. And so basically the ones on the outboard and the front. So we had to design an all new fascia with a maximum opening in the grille. And you can see that here. So we basically tried to get that new front fascia. It's got new fenders and a new hood on this car. So we tried to get that as much opening as we could, and those new outboard coolers to keep the car cooled. So let's talk about some more exterior features. Basically, ZR1 comes with all the visible carbon fiber we know how to do. Standard, so the wing, the splitter has a new splitter, the rockers, the roof panel. We also have fender vents and the quarter vents are all visible carbon as well. In the convertible version, you get the carbon tonneau inserts as standard. We have also, I talked about specific fenders. So the whole front clip is basically all new. Also the wheels are specific to the ZR1, available in 4 different finishes. And then we brought back the signature blue ZR1 brake calipers, but you can also get that in black, gray, yellow, or red options. So here are some of the sketches of the ZR1 that we did at the design studio. Tom Peters and Kirk Benyon, of course, very much involved in those. And one of the challenges was to take this taller engine and integrate it with the Corvette design. And I think they did an awesome job of integrating the bodywork. And here's the clay model that was on the patio for review. You can see some slight badging changes in the final production car, but this is basically the car. And originally, we were just doing all the cars with the high wing package, again for maximum track performance. But it started to occur to us there'd be a couple reasons to do the low wing package as a standard car, I mean, obvious one would be aesthetics. Maybe not everybody likes to have a big wing on the back of the car. I do, personally, but maybe you don't, which is fine. But the other reason, too, performance-wise, is we could still maintain a lot of downforce, but we could have a higher top speed model with the lower wing that gives you more, and I'll show you that in a second. So first, some of the details. There's the hood I was talking about with the halo opening for that engine cover. On the top center are the quarter carbon fiber ducts. And then you have, of course, the wing, a lot of surface detail in the wing. And then there's the fender vents. So, okay, this is what I was talking about. So we have, this is the standard wing. And again, enables a higher top speed. But also has downforce greater than we've done on the Z06, even with the Z07 package. But the high wing enables 950 pounds of downforce at top speed. So that's the ultimate car to get for if you want, like Nürburgring lap times, for example, or something like that. It also will have, for track use, specific end caps for this front splitter. Let's talk about the interior. We basically only have two packages on the ZR1. I call them 1ZR and 3ZR. I think people might be familiar with 1LT and 3LT on the other Corvettes. So the 1ZR is really, you know, if you're hardcore, just want the lightest, fastest car possible. It's got black interior. You can get a competition seat in that one. All the 3ZR is available with all the interior colors that the other Corvettes are. We have specific interior plaque, specific etching on the steering wheel, on the seats as well, and the cluster is specific to ZR1. Also with this 3ZR package on the ZR1, it comes with the gloss carbon fiber interior trim and the carbon fiber steering wheel rim, which is included in that, which is cool. So we really maxed out on the carbon. And then what else could we do? Well, we also thought about, we have this new color that we introduced not that long ago, Sebring Orange, tint coat. And let's do a special ZR1 design package centering around that color. So we have this design package. It comes with the orange brake calipers, and then we painted the stripes on the edges of the ground effects on the carbon fiber. We actually painted that in orange as well. And then on the interior, we have orange belts, orange stitching, competition seats are included in the package as well. And then we have a bronze tint aluminum trim in there as well that goes well with the orange, and also special floor mats and things like that. And here's the convertible version of the car with the orange package. You can see that's the one we had at the LA Auto Show. We showed the gray coupe with the ZTK package, and we showed the orange convertible with the design package with the low wing at Los Angeles. You see kind of the breadth of what we have with ZR1. And again, here's the interior of that package with some more details that we just went over. All right, so some of the options on the ZR1. We have the 8-speed paddle shift automatic. So we have the 4-wheel colors. The standard is the pearl nickel. We have carbon flash, which is like a black metallic. Satin graphite, which is a really dark gray satin. Chrome, of course, people love chrome. And then the performance package, with a lot of the other options are available, including the colored stitch packages in yellow, blue, or red. And the design package there. See, that's also the pricing. So we introduced the pricing. Starts at $119,995. Although at first glance you say that's most expensive Corvette we've ever done, but it's probably the greatest value of Corvette we've ever done too, if you think about it. You really have to get something with this type of performance from Europe. You're looking at 2, 3, 4 times the price of that to have something that's in this category. Also, you can see the performance package is about $3,000. The orange design package, including the competition seats, is about $7,000. And all ZR1s include the a special Ron Fellows driving school that's tailored to ZR1 at Spring Mountain. It's included in the price of the car because we feel that's important with the a car like this. It was interesting, we had a gallery event at the Detroit Auto Show, and we were parked, we had the car on display. This is an event that has all hyper expensive cars, Rolls Royce, Bentley, Lamborghini. They had a Bugatti there, Ferrari, and they invited us to bring the new ZR1 there because we're in this category. And there was a Ferrari, I think it was a 488 next to us, and I was asking, what's the sticker on that car? And I think it was about 380. And he goes, yeah, it's 380, but there's about $100,000 of options on this. You can get it for like 280 or whatever. And I was like, well, what kind of options are it? He goes, well, look, it's got real carbon fiber spoiler on it, it's got splitter, it's got ground effects, it's got the roof that's got a carbon fiber. I go, well, that's all standard on this car right here, plus this car's faster than that car anyway. And it's like the option. So anyway, but it just shows you that, you know, even though a car can be expensive, it can still be a great value. And so I'll close off with this. So 212 miles an hour is the top speed. You know, anybody who was here yesterday, Doug Feehan did his racing presentation. Somebody asked him how fast does a C7R go on this track. He goes, it can hit the high 170s. It's like, Doug, he's not keeping up with the street car. I mean, he's got to pull his weight more, I think. I was just kidding, but you know, it is amazing. A car you could drive there, have the AC on, radio on, 212 miles an hour. It's pretty cool. So that's the end of the presentation, but if you guys got any questions for me or Tracy, fire away. Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is for a C6.
Yes.
I've had 5 of them, but I'm trying to find, and I know this, I'm sorry what your question, I'm trying to find a hood liner. I go to my local Chevrolet dealer, so they don't make them in Volcano Oil. Where can I get a hood liner for a C6?
I know we still do have some accessories for C6. Come and see me afterwards and I'll see what I can find for you.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Sorry.
If you're not tracking the car, should you stick with the current mobile one, or is there a reason to go to the 040 viscosity?
Okay, yeah, if you're not tracking the car, you can go either way. You can use the 530 foil or the 040, no difference.
Yeah, the 040, is that across the board for all the engines, or just?
Yeah, so the 040 is across the board for all the engines. The one exception on the ZR1, we're still going to recommend the 1550 on the track, ZR1 only, just to get, you can use the 040 on the track, but we found better performance with the 1550. But it's still safe to use both, but the ZR1 we're still going to say, if you really want them, and if you're buying it, you probably do, use the 1550. The rest of them, yeah. And you can go all the way back to the 2014 models. Yeah.
You mentioned the engine build is a limited time only. Do you have a time frame for that? So, you know, let people know that if you want to do the engine build, that's...
Yeah, I think probably to about this summer.
Okay. From
now to about summer, we're going to be able to have a window where we can do the engine build program. So it's limited, but you know, we have to schedule it, but I think that it's been a great program, especially with the ZR1. We think we're going to get a lot of people that are going to want to try that out. It's kind of a unique experience that only we offer, so it's really great. If anybody's have you ever talked to anybody that's done it, they loved it. Really makes you one with your car too.
Is that engine built, is that the Tonawanda?
No, the engine build is right in Bowling Green.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good question. So you mentioned Tonawanda, the LT1 engines are made in Tonawanda, but the Z06 and Z01 engines, LT4 and LT5 are made right at the Performance Build Center in Bowling Green. Yeah.
Rumor has it you and Doug have been snowboarding around Detroit in your Corvette, and with these new tires.
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, so me and Doug and some other people on our team, obviously, we have to do our, anytime we do a new car, like the ZR1, we have to put lots of miles, like hundreds of thousands of miles on these cars before we release them to the public. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. We've got to make sure they're perfect before you guys get them. And Doug is his own personal car. So, being it's winter, Michelin does make these Alpine tires. They made them for a few years. Just recently, they've now made them available in the larger size tires that fit the Grand Sport, the Z06 and the ZR1. I drove all last year in the Z06 with them. I've been driving the ZR1 with them all winter, and they really work great in the snow. And I know people give me strange looks, but they were wonderful. So I recommend them if you're somebody that some people cringe and some people think it's cool. Depends on your point of view. But if you want to drive your Corvette all year with these tires, there's no reason why you really can't. When I live maybe down in Florida, or you live in the South, it's not that big a deal. But you live in Michigan, Detroit, or upstate New York, or Rochester, wherever, there's years only, we have a lot of winter, so it's a long time to be without a Corvette. You go through withdrawal.
Do you ever see making the tires available through the accessories catalog, or?
I mean, that's something we could look at. Typically, we've only been able to do the tires that come with the car through the official channels, but that's something I think if there's a demand for, I think that would be a great thing someday. We do in our service bulletin, we did have one that officially kind of recommended these for winter use, but we don't officially sell them, right? But that's a great idea for sure.
In the winter, I guess you can use the front splitter as a snowplow.
It does. You don't do it on purpose, but it does kind of do that. I hate to say, you see that it does break my heart a little bit. You have this beautiful clear-coated carbon, and it's all packed with ice and snow. It kind of breaks my heart a little bit. I was thinking last year I had the Z06. We have to drive the cars to where they get, but it was a personal car. I might get the plastic splitter for the winter, and then switch it back for the summer, maybe. Might be a way to protect it, because you get all that ice. I don't want to get scratched up. Anyway.
What's the weight on the ZR1?
Weight on the ZR1 is about, I got it right here, wait, hold on. I don't want to say the wrong thing, since I'm being filmed right now. Okay, weight, official curb weight, because we had a bunch of numbers flying around there. So the official curb weight is 35.54, and the dry weight is 34.08. So it's roughly about 50 pounds more than a Z06 in that range. Mostly because of the supercharger, obviously.
Yes, on a carbon fiber, who produces that? Is that you have a company that produces carbon fiber parts, or does?
Yeah, we have a couple of suppliers, Plasan and Devotech are a couple of them that they do excellent work with the carbon for us. And we really, when you think about Corvette, we're like one of the largest. We probably are the largest user of carbon fiber of anybody, based on production, being that every Corvette has a carbon fiber hood and a roof, standard. So, a lot of people think of the Corvette, it is a relatively low volume car, but for these carbon fiber suppliers, it's the most by far they've ever done for anybody. So, with the 7th generation, we have really pushed that to the limit as far as production. Wendy's nodding because she's the one that has to forecast that and hear the screams over the phone. You want how many? You want 650 carbon spoilers for this carbon 65 edition now? So yeah, so we really pushed them to the limit, but they did great work. And one of the neat things too, if you go over, anybody gone over to the Chevy display and seen the ZR1 over there yet? Or if you haven't, look at the engine cover and the hood, because it's like book match, we call it, where the pattern is all lined up. So it's really a premium finish on there. That's really, they really did a great job.
So when does the C8R make its debut?
When does the CAR? After we're done racing the C7R.
Okay. Good answer.
What were some of the factors that led to the need for a dual fuel, dual controller?
Okay, that's a great question. Dual fuel is basically to produce the power. You just needed more. The direct injection by itself could not get enough fuel to meet the fuel demands that we needed for this engine, basically. So they came up with this dual fuel injection system, which is the first time. I think there may be some others that are doing it. It's the first time we've done it at Chevrolet and GM, but that's what helps. That's what helped enable us to do this type of engine.
So that lends to the second question. Does this resolve the possibility of carbon buildup behind the valve that we started seeing with direct injection? Maybe not so much with Chevrolet, but other manufacturers.
Yeah, we haven't really had any issues on our engines like that, so it should be
resolve it.
We don't have an issue to resolve, so it should be fine. That's my answer.
Did I read somewhere where it takes 100 horsepower to drive the supercharger?
No, I don't think it's quite that much. It does take. I don't know that exact number, how much horsepower. I don't think it's that much, but there's. I mean, obviously, but you still got 755.
The point being is really over 800 horsepower. But
right, that's your point. Right, to still end up with 755, obviously right. You're producing more because there's power loss with a supercharger. Your point. I don't know if that's the number though. I don't think it's quite that high, but I'll have to ask my buddies in the. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about why the ZR1 came around? I heard Tad say it was originally, C7 was just Stingray and Z06, and then the Grand Sport came, and then the ZR1 came. Both, I think, that were not planned originally. So can you kind of tell about the genesis of that?
Right, you're right on there. Yeah, we only had the Stingray and the Z06 in our plan. We probably pretty early on decided Grand Sport would be cool to do. A lot of people like the 6th generation Grand Sport. We thought that was a good thing. And we really didn't leave anything on the table when we did the Z06. We're like, let's just make that the highest performance car we can do. But as we got further along, and of course, everybody wants more horsepower. Working with our GM propulsion powertrain partners. We thought, we could do this larger supercharger, and then the struggle is, well, how do you package that in the Corvette? And we came up with this, creative solution with the engine cover and the hood. But yeah, so we that came a little bit later. So you're right, it wasn't originally planned, but we thought we're always, at Corvette team, we're always pushing the envelope. We're always trying to see what the top performance can be. And with the supercars out there, we want to show that we can take the Corvette and compete against the best supercars in the world, price no object. So we just went after it, and it was exciting. It was an exciting program, and we thought we were kind of maxed out with the Z06. I think what could we really do, and I think we got the best engine people in the world, really, that what they're able to do with, the small block V8. It's just awesome.
How much time did you have to develop the ZR1, or did it begin right after the Z06 went out?
Well, the ZR1, we really didn't have how much time. I'm trying to think of when we started. It definitely was a few years, and we didn't really have to. Oh, this has to come out by this year, or whatever. As evidenced by the introduction timing that we have, it was kind of when it's ready, we'll bring it out, which kind of led to this early 2019 model year, So, I mean, it was one that we it was like a back project that we worked on, and we got to a certain point and we gave it the go ahead. It wasn't really timetable that we were working with on a car like this.
Just to add to that though, in case it's behind the question, because I think I've seen questions before where they just think, oh, did you just need something to fill in? Just as we kind of joked about a minute ago with the carbon fiber and with Lasan and the different suppliers, none of this stuff can be done at the drop of a hat. So with all of the unique components that are on the ZR1, we could have never had a supplier do that within a year or a matter of months. So this isn't last minute, oh, we need something to put out, we need a sales package to put out or anything like that. It's been planned. I don't know how long, but it's been planned definitely for at least 2 years. So, yeah. So, yeah, we can't get a supplier to turn around stuff like that.
Particularly with the fuel pump and the fuel system that it has now.
Yeah, to supply the quantities, if this was something that we were locking down to a quantity of 300 or a quantity of 200, it might be a little bit more reasonable to think, okay, we could have put that together a little quicker. Probably not with the engine, but I wouldn't say it's safe to assume, but you know what I mean, I could understand you assuming that. But with us not controlling the quantities on this one at all, no, you know these guys had it done for a long time.
Well, it ended up being a nice cadence for us because we had the Stingray, then a year later we had the Z06, and about 2 years we had the Grand Sport, and now, and so that's something we always try to do with Corvette is keep every year we have something new and exciting to come out with, and I think we saw that in the 6th generation too. Just the ZR1 is great on its own merit, but then it also it brings more attention to the Corvette in general. Like you saw, I think you saw on the LA Auto Show video, you know, we had a lot of people we invited that were opinion leaders, bloggers, you know, people do YouTube videos and things that came because we said, hey, we're doing the fastest Corvette we've ever done. But to be honest, a lot of them weren't familiar with Corvette in general. So it just kind of really helps get new people, new customers, maybe new enthusiasts that haven't thought about Corvette before, interested because of the ZR1, and maybe they don't get a ZR1, but they become interested in the Corvette. So it does help in 2 ways.
Just as a time check,
We
you have 12 minutes to get back to the, does anybody have raffle tickets?
Yeah. Yeah, we need to get back. We probably need to do, sorry to interrupt your question.
No problem.
Yes, I'm going to get back to the rounds. Get back.
Don't want anybody to miss their prize, but you're welcome to stay too if you want. It's up to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Thank you. Thank you.
I took note of one back there.